been an interesting year. I feel like everybody's come back from COVID and things have been very, very busy. We also had the bird flu this summer, so we had to separate ducks from chickens. We're trying to fundraise for a new manure trailer that we have to truck the manure off of our property twice a week. Everyone's doing really well. We're lucky. It's a lot of work. You know, my soft spot is the older ones because nobody wants them. They want the younger fun babies. And I don't have that desire. I like the older ones that have seen everything, done everything, and I want to see them live their best life. The older ones are harder to work with because they've usually seen some kind of abuse or they've gotten away with a behavior that isn't always pleasant. They're harder to work with, but I like them better. I like them better than the blank slate babies that you can teach anything to because I want them to live their best life. Our food, bedding, and just maintenance, it's about $3,000 a month. Through those sponsorships where you have that monthly check coming in for most of those older ponies, you have that, then you have the fundraisers. Those bring us in a big chunk of money that usually would get us through the winter. They really enjoy the events. We dress up the animals. It's just a whole fun atmosphere.
Pirates of the Caribbean was a big hit. And we had Captain Jack Sparrow here, which was a big hit.
You know, we raised about $1,600 with that fundraiser, but again, it doesn't quite cover everything, so we're always looking for the next thing. We did Goodnight Ponies instead of Goodnight Moon, and the ponies were dressed in their pajamas, and so were all the volunteers, and we had books available, and the kids all read a story. So we've just been picking our brains as much as we can of ways to get people in.
I always try to make it like an interactive visit, so they're not just coming to look at the animals, they're able to touch them always. But they're doing something as they go along. So in Pirates of the Caribbean, it was digging for treasure. In the Pony Oscars, it was voting for your best pony set and director and character. The Easter one, they did an Easter egg hunt. So I try to make it really fun. We do also have programs where we allow the schools to come. So we have the tech program. They're studying to be a veterinarian eventually. So they come once a week on Thursday and Friday and they watch us, they help. They put eye medicine in, they work on the feet with the ponies, they do some cleaning for us that helps us too. And they learn, you know, it's in the field skills. It's much better than in the classroom. I think that a lot of the kids go into that program, you know, and they're really searching for small animal. So we do have them clean the bunny cages, cut the bunny nails, learn things like that. But I think that they realize all the work that it takes and all the gross things that you have to do. And sometimes they don't make it through, but you'd rather they learn right away than to wait 2 years into a program and realize it's something you can't do.
Everything has been pretty consistent except for 3 of our ponies that have laminitis, which is insulin resistance. Now we soak this hay for these laminitis ponies. They can't have a lot of sugar. So we were filling a huge tub with water, weighing down the hay, soaking it for an hour, dumping all of this water. Very physical job. And they had this hay soaker, soaks about 3 flakes of hay. And we were losing hay because of the humidity. It was souring. You can't feed that to ponies like that. So the hay soaker has a timer on it and you can set it to drain after an hour of soaking. And you just fill it up again with hay and then start all over again. So we've been able to really save a lot of water, which saves money here.
It takes the sugars out, so it's really nutritious for our laminitic ponies. But there's a couple other ponies that really like it too.
And it's been good for the ponies to have the wet hay. And of course, Precious, you can see, she likes the wet hay even though she doesn't have to have it. But it is good for ponies that are overweight.
With the hoof, there is the outside of the hoof. There's a lamini in between, and then it goes down into the coffin bone. The lamini gets inflamed, and it pushes the hoof wall off of the lamini and pushes the bone down. So that's where you get into trouble because the bone will rotate and it doesn't come back.
For them to get around, they need to have those boots on. Those boots saved them because they would have just been in their stall. And stall rest is a good thing, but motion and blood flow is a good thing as well. Sweetness is one of them. Romeo and Jolie were in pretty bad shape this past winter. Sweetness's episode started like in the spring. Romeo has been going for over a year.
And then Patty got a new veterinarian, Dr. Kate, and she came in and gave him some medication that's really, really helped. He still goes up and down with the laminitis, the change in the weather, the shorter days, all different things can affect that. They're very sensitive to that type of stuff. So he goes from wearing his boots to feeling better and not having to wear the boots. It's hard when he has a setback for us because we worry about him. And then all of a sudden he's doing well and we don't worry about him, but we all know in the back of our mind that he still has this condition. But he's a naughty pony, so he's so easy to love.
All right, come on, let's go. Here we go. Good boy.
When you see him feeling really well, you can just see all that brightness. But then when he starts to inch back, like right now he's back in the boots and he doesn't feel as well. But he's still okay. So we're just going day by day with Romeo. So Jolie started exhibiting signs too, and she's on the same medication, and that has helped her tremendously. She has not had a limping or sore foot episode since Dr. Kate came on board. That was last December, so we're coming up on a year of meeting her. So Sweetness has the laminitis and the uveitis, and we put a mask on her during the day when it's sunny. Today she doesn't have to wear it because it's overcast, and she's so pretty without it on.
She has some spots on her eyes that we treat with a medication and pray that it doesn't get bigger. She looks forward to her medicine because it's followed with a carb-safe treat.
Yummy.
So she's not really a candidate to be adopted out. No one is going to adopt a pony that you have to soak the hay, you have to work on the feet constantly, you have to give medications every day. They just don't want that. They want something easy.
We're really thrilled with how well Sweetness has come along. She's a good pony, she's Precious's best friend, but she can hold her own for sure.
Lollipop was saved by another rescue from a bad situation. She was abused.
Her previous owner is wonderful, took very good care of her, but she was not, didn't have any other horses or ponies on the property. So Lollipop really needs the herd to help her get through her situations. Lollipop was badly abused in the beginning of her life. So she doesn't really like to be touched. She's very untrusting.
They were lassoing her to do her feet, to sedate her, and really a lot of trauma took place, even though they were trying to help her. So Patty's had Lollipop here, and she's with the herd now. And they only had alpacas and goats and no ponies, which kind of in the rescue world you try to avoid.
She needed the other ponies for guidance. She watches what they do and realizes what's going to happen if I let that lady catch me. I might be able to go out on the grass, let me go to her. She definitely learns from the others.
We just love that she's here. She's made really good friends with a lot of the older ponies.
There you go. It's all right. It's okay. Good girl. There we go. So Jojo and Lolly are good friends. And Jojo didn't have any friends. So it's been nice.
And ponies need ponies. You should never, ever have a single.
She's got a great attitude, but she isn't snuggly and warm, and I want her to be. But she comes along, she likes a little kiss on the nose, she likes to be scratched on the forehead, and she loves her cookies. But we can't really touch her all over yet, and we're gonna work on that.
The one that owns her. How
Oh, she
big
is
this
coming?
is right here.
You got her?
I've been doing it every day
That's awesome.
in all weird places.
Awesome.
I don't fool around. I show her what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm up
Yep.
front. We have Blue, but Blue is very hard to catch. So you need to get their feet done and you can't catch him. You need to separate him to feed him and you can't catch him. He's a tough pony. Very kind when you catch him, but he knows all the tricks to not be caught. We are changing it, but he is our toughest pony we've ever had.
He is probably one of the cuter ponies that we have. They're all cute, but Blue has an expression on his face of wonder all the time. He's really coming around to being caught. We could never catch him, and we'd have to get him into a stall and then put his halter on. So now we can catch him outside with some work, but we catch him nonetheless. And once we catch him, he's very sweet and lovable, but he's still very untrusting. So he's come a long way, but he still has a ways to go. And I truly, truly believe that the ponies, being around all the other ponies, has really helped him. His new best friend is Romeo, which is really nice because Romeo really needed a good friend.
We're part of Volunteer Match. If you're interested, you can contact us through there. I put people to work as soon as they come here because I would have people come and they would look around. Oh, we get to see the ponies and the donkeys, and then they didn't want to come back again. But if you put them to work, at the end of the shift, you can say, so are you going to come back or not? And it's the only way to really let them see what it's about because it's a lot of work and it's a huge commitment. But we love our volunteers and they are a huge help, but we always could use more.
My background is I was an IT product manager, so a big part of my job was communicating with other people. And so when I came here, I saw a need for better communication among the volunteers. So I've been doing a lot of focus on that. Morning people didn't necessarily know how each animal's stall needed to be set up. So instead of things being set up improperly, I decided to do these, I bought a laminator and decided to do these stall sheets so that in the morning, everybody would know what to do to set up a stall properly for the animal.
I just love to be around animals. So when Patty showed me the farm and said she could always use help, I thought, I'll go one day a week. Now I'm up to 2, which is fine. I can work it into my schedule, but I've always been an animal lover and I've always thought I'd like to do a rescue, but now I don't have to. I can just help Patty with hers. So it's been great. It's been really great and I've learned a lot.
But it's just fun. It's good exercise, you know, and it's nice to be outside. They're all good girls, aren't you? Look at you hamming it up. She's not usually this friendly. You want to be on camera? You're a good girl. And the other thing about the rescue was when like the little kids come here, it's really good for girls. It really builds confidence. Because if you can handle a 1,200-pound horse, you can handle pretty much anything.
I really like the whole routine that we have. I don't mind cleaning, it's very zen. I really like when we see an animal that might come in with an issue, a behavioral issue or a medical issue, getting better. You know, they come in sometimes and they're really shut down, and then they start making friends, and then you see them running around with the herd, and it's just a great feeling. When you're working with an animal, every little victory is such an accomplishment to be celebrated, so it's very fulfilling. The animals are so well taken care of. Patty does has such a great mission here, and it's actually fun to come. It's fun to come, you see the animals, they are so nosy. When anything different's happening, they all come over and check out what's happening. So they have such personalities, and it's so important, I think, that we take care of animals in need and treat them humanely. So I'm happy to be part of it.
They can help by volunteering. They can help by sponsoring. They can help by bringing their families here for a visit, joining us for events, buying our merchandise. We have a beautiful calendar coming out. I can't wait to show everyone. It's our best one yet. We did some advertising in it, so people who had businesses advertised, so it helped pay for the calendar. I didn't have to take the money out of the rescue to buy them initially. So there's a lot of ways to help. Call me.